attract companies that will create more high-paying jobs in fields like modular home and aircraft manufacturing. And so we know Walton County is a good place to be anyways. This infrastructure, we believe, will end up supporting 1,000 jobs with this entire project. And so that's a really, really good thing for folks here. We're also doing $625,000 through the Rural Infrastructure Fund to improve broadband internet access in Walton County. Funds are part of a bigger plan to ensure the entire county is covered by broadband by June of 2022. And I know the leaders here in Walton County recognize the importance of improving internet accessibility for businesses and employees and to be able to keep people here. And these are important investments. They're not the only investments that we've done since I've been governor. Last legislative session, we secured $650,000 for the Defuniak Springs Municipal Airport. So we were happy to be able to do that. And so today, I think we're building off some of that momentum, and this will really have a big impact. So when we, the Job Growth Grant Fund is something that we get. People can apply for assistance, and we just try to evaluate the projects that we think will have the best impact. And so the project here in Walton County, we think, I mean, honestly, the money's great, but we think the impact is going to be far greater than the amount of investment that we're putting in. So that's a really, really good thing, and I know folks will really be excited about it. So we have Dane Eagle and Jamal Sal. Dane is the Department of Economic Opportunity Executive Director, and Jamal heads Enterprise Florida. So I'm going to have them come up and say a few things as well. So Dane.
Yep. Well, first of all, thank you to the governor for all he's doing to help with job creation across our great state. He has kept Florida open. It's been no secret that Florida's open for business. And thank you to the local officials here for working so hard to make sure that these grant opportunities have become available. The governor not only keeping Florida open, but also championing legislative initiatives. The Job Growth Grant Fund, $74 million. That was a top priority for him this past legislative session. I'm working closely with Jamal at EFI to make sure that those grants or the applications are coming in. You all had a great one, so happy to make this announcement today. $500,000 to help with towards 1,000 jobs being created, to help with that industrial park and that commerce park. So that's a great win, as well as the Rural Infrastructure Fund, $625,000 going to broadband. Jobs can't be created if businesses can't have access to broadband and be able to help with their daily intake and outtake, and you name it. But beyond that, if you want to be able to work from home, learn from home, see your doctor from home, or just catch up with friends and family, broadband is needed. I saw the FCC did a study that 51% of households in Walton County have broadband. We all know we need to improve on that. The county and the city and the EDA here locally have committed to that. We're happy to be a small part in that today. I think you have 4 phases. Fourth one's due to be complete next June, so that's exciting. We have the Office of Broadband, which the governor has put at DEO as well, so look forward to working with you on that. Anything we can do to be helpful. But other areas that need help, feel free to contact us so that we can help you apply for those grants. Thanks again to the governor for his great work. Appreciate it.
Okay. And we have to scrutinize a lot of different projects, and Dane's agency helps us a lot. Jamal is really involved in business recruitment. I mean, quite frankly, the state recruits itself. I mean, people want to come here. I mean, in many respects, we have more people that want to come than can even be accommodated, in a sense of, it's hard to find homes someplace. I mean, like, if people are building homes, but it's just with the materials and some of the shortages and the inflation. So we've got a lot of good stuff going. I think people have recognized that, and Jamal and his agency have really tried to capitalize. And what I want to see is, yes, we know certain things Florida has always done well in. We've always had a big agriculture footprint, always had a big tourism footprint. We see what's happening with space, with a whole host of great things on the east coast of Florida. We also see a lot of financial services trying to migrate down here, and migrating down here. It's good. But I think we've got great opportunities to do more with manufacturing and building things in Florida. We've worked really hard on the education front to promote things like apprenticeships and just let people know that that doing four-year college is one way you can succeed, but it's not always the best way. And some of these students that go in, they get certified in some of these fields, like welding or some of these other things. They're making really good money right off the bat. There's a demand for it that will continue to be. And so my view is, if we're understanding that and understanding the opportunities there and making sure our education system is addressing that, I think you're going to see a lot of companies say, well, heck, I can build this stuff in Florida. It's a much better place to be. We can do it. So we want to continue to expand that footprint. I think those are really, really good jobs. And, just as a country, we need to be making more things here anyways. But as a state, we really want to do it. So I know Jamal's been very helpful with that. So Jamal?
So the world knows that they can build better in Florida. Last year was very trying. But those same people who were saying that our governor needs to be more like Newsom and Cuomo, they're now calling and saying, we want to come to Florida. Those same friends of mine from around the world, they say, Jamal, I know I was criticizing, but I want to come to Florida. It's better for my business. So as we make the sell around the world about why Florida is best, we want to make sure that Northwest Florida is empowered. This governor, Ron DeSantis, has been huge on workforce and infrastructure, because that's the incentive for tomorrow. We want to make sure that companies know about the history, because the history of Florida really starts right here. As a sixth-generation native, it brings me pride to be back in Northwest Florida, but also to make sure that you know that we have been working from day one, the governor, Dane, and I, to ensure that Northwest Florida has the resources here to show the entire world why it's best for business in Florida and right here in your county. Thank you.
Also pleased to be able to welcome up Chairman Trey Nick to deliver some remarks.
Governor, I'd like to thank you for coming out and your staff. We're honored to have you here in Walton County, and I'm really happy about all you've done for us in the county and as well the state. And I'll make it brief, but I like to tell people all the cool folks live in Walton County. And thank you for doing what you're doing. So
all right.
Appreciate it.
Good. Well, we're happy to do it, and we really appreciate the community here. You guys have anything else while I'm here? While you got me? Yeah.
Governor, Commissioner Anderson, District 5, and I want to thank you for your handling of the COVID situation. But on a personal matter, you've done something that I've tried 41 years to do, and that's to turn my daughter from a liberal Democrat to Thank you very much.
Okay. Happy to do it. Anything else? City? County? What are other needs you guys have?
We want to speak up for this. Go right ahead.
We wanted to thank you from a law enforcement standpoint.
Sure.
For your work bringing in incentives to bring law enforcement officers across the country to say Florida is a law enforcement friendly state.
Yeah, no, so for law enforcement, we're really proud. So we had, last summer, obviously, there was law enforcement was under the barrel, and I said, I'm standing with these guys. This is totally unfair what they're doing to them, and we need to have safe communities. And if you go down the road of defunding law enforcement, you're going to have hell to pay on the back end. So what happened? A lot of these jurisdictions turned their back on law enforcement, cut the funding, all this. Crime has absolutely skyrocketed in a lot of these jurisdictions. Now they're actually trying to get funding back in because they realize how insane it was to do it. So, but what's happened is, it's not all necessarily even about the money. Obviously that matters, but when people don't feel supported doing a job that can be very dangerous. I mean, we're going to have the 20th anniversary of September 11th on Saturday. I think we all remember that day. It was probably one of the most significant days in the history of our country. But when those buildings were on fire and people were running for their lives, you had the fire, the police, these guys, they're running into the building. They're taking people out. They're going higher up to get more people out, knowing in all likelihood that they were not going to make it out themselves. And so when you see things, that's obviously a really grand scale of tragedy. But when you see these things happen, these are the folks that are the first ones to go and respond on our behalf. And so when the morale is so low in some of these parts of the country that people aren't supporting them, our view is there's needs in law enforcement in Florida. We need more people to be involved. There's spaces available. So what we're doing incentive-wise is not just for people from other states that come, they will be eligible for a $5,000 signing bonus. So if Seattle, you don't like Seattle or Portland, and you want to come to Florida, you could get that bonus. But it's also for people in Florida who've never been in law enforcement before who choose it. So a lot of young people who choose this as a profession could also be eligible for the signing bonuses. And we're also helping provide funding so they can go to the law enforcement academies. You know, people in Florida can get a bright future to go to the University of Florida or Florida State or whatnot, and that's fine. But what about this? So we're really making an effort, and I think what's going to end up happening is I think you're going to see folks who like what they do, want to protect people, don't feel like they're getting the support they need in those jurisdictions, and I think they're going to look at Florida. So as we talk about like recruiting businesses and jobs, generally, private sector, of course, very important, but we really have an opportunity here in Florida, given what's gone on in the rest of the country, to really be a leader, and I think that we're doing it. This package, I think, is going to sail through the legislature when we go next session, and it sends a very clear message. You know, we did $1,000 bonuses for all first responders this last legislative session. So police, sworn law enforcement, fire, rescue, EMT, and it was deserved because it was, you know, they did a lot over the past year. But I'll tell you, particularly the law enforcement, what they tell me, they say thank you. Obviously, $1,000 is helpful, especially if you have a family, you're trying to balance checkbooks and everything. We understand that. But it was not the money that really, it was the fact that we're doing that showed that we stand by and that we appreciate them. And that's really what they appreciated more so than even the funds. And I think similar with the signing bonus, like that may be something that entices, but I think more than that, it's just a signal to say, yeah, we value what you're doing. We understand safe communities are important. And if you go down the road that some of these other places have gone, there's not a single jurisdiction that's done that where their communities actually got safer. In fact, the communities get worse. And if you look at a place like Minneapolis, it still hasn't recovered from that. This is over a year later, still hasn't recovered. And so this has really big consequences. Yes?
Mayor Bob Campbell, first of all, I want to say welcome to the city of Phoenix Springs, Jamal and Dana. So we're real proud of your team. Our staff works for your team. Especially with DEO on a regular basis, and so just want to let you know this county is got a great blend. Even though we got a real diverse culture in this county, very large area in this county. DCC, our school board, our cities. We got 3 cities in this county. Have a tremendous working relationship, and we want to continue to blend with you guys and make sure that no one gets left out. And you know, I see this because we are a historic place, and I see this as like the old guy hopping out of the Model T Ford with his old top hat, you know, shaking hands with the guy in his, you know, his business casual coming out of a Learjet. That's who we are. We're all about preservation, but we're also about moving forward and innovation. And so this is a wonderful place to live. I think you guys would enjoy it. You know, you might want to get a second home here.
Superintendent of schools.
Hey.
Thank you so much. I was a part of your transition team, superintendent of schools.
Yeah.
County. I want to thank you also. You didn't mention the $1,000 that you gave for schools, for our teachers. We're thankful for that as well. Glad to know the stand you're taking on school. We take that same stand. 96% of our students were in school, in schools last year. We started the school year off, didn't delay last year.
Good.
And because of that kind of commitment, because of that kind of support from our commissioners, state, city, local persons, agencies, we're in school, we're having school. We know the importance of children being in school, and that allows our families to work, allows our employees to work, and we appreciate your work with us as well.
Well, thank you for your effort. I mean, I think when you're in education, there's a lot of ways you'll make a difference over your career, but I think last year takes the cake in terms of the impact, because if you had not done what you guys did by making sure those kids had access to school, it would have taken years to be able to recover from that. And we're seeing that in other parts of the country where they lock the kids out. And remember, last year, I got sued because we had schools open. They tried to close the schools, and we won that case. But I just knew, I knew the data was very clear, and that's the thing. You know, follow the data or listen to some people who are just always saying things that just aren't backed up by the facts. So we knew that the schools were important, and we knew it would be a low risk environment. But we just knew so much that the virtual we do virtual better than anyone in Florida, but it's not the same, and not even close, particularly for young kids, particularly for people with special needs. And so one of the reasons we did the $1,000 bonuses for the teachers and the principals is, even though I was getting sued to close it, most teachers, particularly up here, they wanted to get back because they knew their students were falling behind, and they knew they needed to do. Most of the principals wanted to get back to be able to do it. And so we really think last year it was crunch time. We had to figure out what we were going to do, but we in Florida were not going to leave these kids behind, and it was challenging. We still have challenges that we have to do. Incidentally, I'll have a pretty significant announcement next week on education, so stay tuned on that. But we did it, and now we're going to continue going forward, and we want to have a smooth and effective school year. So we're proud of you guys. Now, we're going to work together. There's more we can do. I anticipate being back with some other stuff in the future because I think you guys are going down a good track. I hope next time I'm here is not because of a hurricane aftermath. I mean, we're right in the heart of this season. We had a tropical storm kind of rust through, which was a system, and then it kind of went. But we're ready for it. You guys know, and so we'll see what ends up happening as we go. That one in Louisiana was a pretty big one, but because this is something that they learned from Katrina, their infrastructure was better. That really held up. They learned some stuff on the response, and so most of the worst damage was not in Louisiana in terms of mortality. It was all the way up in the Northeast because it wasn't something that was necessarily, people didn't think it was going to be as big a deal. So the one thing with hurricane season, as I know, and Walton County is certainly one, and these others, especially in the Panhandle, it's something you gotta contend with, and so you're ready, and you just know. So hopefully we'll pray that we get spared. We don't want to see another Michael type situation, but we're right in the heart of this thing. So I watch from Africa over every single morning. I look on, is there something doing? They had the one hurricane that's pretty strong, but it didn't even come close to the U.S., and so that's kind of what we like to see. But thank you all for everything. What do we have?
Yeah, Rhonda Skipper, our task.
Oh, good. Yes.
Thank you for coming. We've heard about law enforcement and we've heard about teachers, but I just want to talk to you tonight about our senior citizens.
Sure.
And on behalf of the Florida tax collectors, I just want to say thank you for your support. As president of that association this year, my initiative is to be able to go into assisted living facilities and homebound, our veterans lodges, to be able to help those pillars and those pilgrims that have paved the way for us to be able to give them an ID card.
Okay.
We're trying to do that through the department, but any support you can lend us for that, we would greatly appreciate that. And thank you for your service and your support.
Good. Great. Yeah, no, let us know. We can be helpful. So, okay. Let's do the checks. Okay, we got both of them. You guys want a commissioner? Who wants to come? So we got two of them. You want to just, yeah. You guys just line up. Oh, yeah, of course. You got everybody?
Not yet.
Not yet?
Not yet.
Almost.
Two more coming.
Okay, you got it? Good deal. Okay. Great job. Yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, guys. Yeah, of course. Of course. Of course. Thank you, guys. You guys want to keep that? Oh, good. Thank you.